Somewhere at this World Cup, a yellow card might be worth more than a goal. Not to the team, to a gambler. Because a small group of people figured out something simple. You don't have to fix the final score to make money off a match. You just have to fix one small moment inside it. A booking. A card the referee pulls from his pocket in the 35th minute. And right now, the people who watch betting markets for a living are saying that is exactly what has been happening. One striker at this tournament was taken into police custody over it. 2 more players have been quietly reported to their own federations. This is the World Cup's quietest scandal, and it is hiding in plain sight. So let me explain what we are actually talking about, because this is not the kind of fixing you are picturing. Most people hear the words match fixing and imagine a whole team agreeing to lose, a goalkeeper letting a soft one in, a final result arranged in advance. This is not that. This is called spot fixing, and it is far smaller and far harder to catch. You do not rig the result. You rig one tiny event inside the game, a corner, a throw-in, or the most popular one of all, a yellow card. A player commits a clumsy foul at a planned moment, the referee pokes him, and somebody who knew it was coming has already placed a bet on that exact card. The scoreline never changes. The team still wins or loses on merit. One player, acting completely alone, can do the whole thing, and that is what makes it so hard to stop. The first name in this story is public, so let me be very careful about how I say it. A Nice striker named Eli Wahi. In May, his club played a French league game that finished 0-0. Nothing about the result looked unusual, but France's football authorities noticed something strange in the betting. Several people had placed money on Wahi receiving a yellow card in that exact match, and in the 35th minute, he was booked. Weeks later, French police took him into custody as part of an investigation into suspected sports corruption and money laundering. Now here's the part that matters most. He was questioned and then he was released. He has not been charged with anything. He has not even been formally named as a suspect, and the investigation is still ongoing. Wahi has every right to the presumption of innocence, and I am not here to convict anyone. But the betting pattern that started all of this is real, and it is documented. And then it got more complicated, in a way that lands right here in Canada. Wahi was cleared to play in the World Cup, because without a charge, there was nothing stopping him. He started Ivory Coast's opening game and helped them win it. But when the team was due to travel to Toronto for their second match against Germany, his entry into Canada suddenly was not approved. His federation said the authorizations could not be obtained, and that he would stay behind in the United States. So for a day, one of the team's forwards was effectively locked out of an entire host country, while under a cloud he has not been charged in. And then, just as quickly, it reversed. The authorizations came through, and his federation confirmed he would rejoin the squad and continue, in their words, as normal.
Here is where it stops being one man's story. According to reporting from The Athletic, 2 more players at this World Cup, from 2 different countries, have been reported to their federations by independent integrity experts. Both are accused of the very same trick, deliberately getting themselves booked. In the first case, a player picked up a yellow card in a league game to trigger a suspension on purpose, so he would serve it early and be free for a big derby later. Investigators say the plan was discussed widely enough that the betting on that booking spiked before it had even happened. In the second case, a player committed 3 fouls in under 5 minutes and got his card, after money had been placed on him being booked in the first half. 2 separate bookmakers flagged it. None of these players have been publicly named, and none of them have been charged, but the same pattern is now showing up in more than one place. So why is this surfacing at this tournament, in this country, right now? The answer is money and access. This World Cup is being played largely in the United States, where legal sports betting has exploded in just a few short years. And the betting menu is no longer only about who wins. You can now bet on corners, on cards, on whether one specific player gets booked in the first half. Those tiny markets are perfect for someone who wants to fix a single moment instead of a whole game. But here is the twist. The same companies that take those bets also watch them, and when the money on some obscure little outcome suddenly surges, alarms go off. That is how every case in this story was caught, not by a camera on the pitch, but by a pattern in the data. Now let me give you the other side, because it genuinely matters. An arrest is not a conviction. A suspicious betting pattern is not proof that any player did something wrong. People bet strangely all the time, and a clumsy player can earn a card completely honestly. Eli Wahi has not been charged, and he may never be. The two other players are anonymous for a reason, because nothing has been proven against them. And there is a genuinely positive way to read all of this. Every single one of these cases was caught. The monitoring worked. The bookmakers reported it. The federations were told. FIFA says it has a zero-tolerance policy and a secure system for anyone to report manipulation. So this is not the story of a tournament that is rotten to the core. It is the story of a new kind of cheating, and whether the people in charge can stay one step ahead of it. But that is the real question, isn't it? Spot fixing does not need a corrupt team or a bot referee. It needs one player, one moment, and a market willing to take the bet. The score stays honest, while the truth underneath it quietly does not. For now, the system is catching the obvious ones. The worry is the ones it was never built to see. If a single yellow card can be bought, what does that do to your trust in everything else you are watching this summer? So tell me in the comments, do you think these are isolated cases or the first cracks in something much bigger? And if you want the World Cup stories the highlight shows quietly skip over, this is the channel for it.